Welcome everyone to another episode of the Camper Report. We had, I guess, we had a few difficulties. I forgot to send a link or whatever, so we're a little bit late because of that. That's my bad. That's my fault. And then I had to reschedule it because I got
Whoa.
caught doing something. So we're here a little bit late than originally expected by you guys, but we're here. We're back. And today we've got Niner Sickness Podcast. I know I usually go on live on Wednesdays and Saturdays or Wednesdays and Thursdays, but today it's a Tuesday show because this is when I was available. This was when Sickness was available. So how are you doing today? First time on the show. So I'm excited to talk 49ers with 49ers content creator once again. Hello?
Hold on real quick.
Oh, okay. You're good.
All right. So I apologize. You're talking, and
Mhm.
then a few seconds later, you're talking
Oh,
again.
there's a
Now I'm hearing myself.
oh, okay. I don't
Now
hear
I'm
that on
hearing
the other
myself
end.
talking what I just said a few minutes before.
Okay.
Well, that's terrible.
Do you want to leave and come back in? Do you think it's mine or yours?
Let me get back on and come back in.
Okay. Chat, let me know what you guys hear with this or if your guys are hearing anything unnormal, let me know. Dang, bad start to the show, everyone. Well, basically, I want to quickly brief you guys. I have new glasses. I mean, well, not new. First time actually having glasses. I needed them. It's crazy seeing the whole world from a different perspective. But I should get contacts, so I should be back to the old Benjamin. Definitely interesting for sure. A new look. But we'll be talking about today. We'll be breaking down the Chiefs game. We'll be talking about just. Oh, he's back. Okay, cool. I was just wasting time. Anyways, is it good or
Yeah. Much better now. I don't know what that was. I don't know if it's probably was on my side, but yeah,
yeah?
that feedback and the echo was like it's like hearing you twice.
Ooh,
So I was
yeah.
trying to make out what you were saying, because you were competing with yourself, at least on my side. I could
Okay.
open a different channel. But anyway, my name is Niner Sickness, from the Niner Sickness podcast. Everybody calls me Niner Beto. Looking forward and doing a show with you, man. It's been a minute. I know we've been trying to work a schedule for us to come
Yeah.
on, and either you're too busy or I'm too busy, and we're not able to get a date done until today. So I am fired up. Not too much about the game, but being on your show, definitely fired up for that, man.
Yeah, me too. Like you said, it has been a while. We're not a while that we've been talking, trying to collab. But let's get right into it. Um, this defense didn't perform like we expected. Um, and it was definitely disappointing for a lot of fans because this is supposed to be the strength of our team. And I actually have an interesting stat that I can pull up right now. Since Kyle Shanahan took over as head coach in 2017, they've been trailing in the fourth quarter by 7+ points 24 times. Um, they have won 0 of those times. Like, they've actually come back to win 0 of those times out of those 24 times that they've been down more than 7 points in the fourth quarter, 0 times that they've won. So my question to you is this a bottom 5 team without the defense at its best? Because obviously they've shown throughout Kyle Shanahan's tenure that they haven't really been able to put up 2 strong offensive performances in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding, man. The game that we just watched
It's true.
against the Falcons, we didn't have a complete defense. Defense is hurt. We lost Javarius Ward prior to the first half, second half, and um, Kyle Shanahan. I mean, so much mixed emotions with him. I like him as
Yeah.
a coordinator, not so much as a head coach. I'm not a big fan of him as a head coach. I am a fan of him as a play caller. I think too much responsibility on his plate hurts him. kind of reminds me real quick of North Turner, if you remember. I know you're a youngster, but North Turner used to be
I've heard
the
of him.
offensive coordinator of Troy Aikman and the Cowboys before he becoming a head coach for the Raiders and the Chargers. Great offensive mind, but as a head coach, terrible. And I kind of get the same similarities with Kyle Shanahan and Nerf Turner in that from that perspective. Now, are we the bottom five? I mean, we had Debo, we had a Uke, we had a good run game. We were not running enough. It seems like Atlanta took a script out of our playbook and
Right.
ran the ball at what 30 plus times on us.
Yeah, that was bad. I think it was. They controlled that whole game.
Yeah,
Keep
so
going.
they were running on the outside, inside. We couldn't stop them, and we were passing the ball more than we should have. Now a lot of people want to sit there and go the drops here, the drops that, but Kyle Shanahan should have ran the ball more. And to your point with those stats on the fourth quarter, they're stats for a reason. And
Yeah.
Kyle seems not to be able to bring us back in the fourth quarter, whether he's with us or when he was with Atlanta. And that seems to be a problem.
It's crazy because like that, like people say stats aren't everything, but that to me is an important stat because that shows, can your offense win? Can your offense carry? Can your offense be the superhero? And it hasn't been. It really hasn't been. I mean, you saw the defense obviously wasn't at its best. You know, Marcus Mariota, they were making him look at one point like Lamar Jackson at his best. Like they were getting him with the, I remember go back to that 2019 Ravens game when Lamar Jackson was just tearing us up in the run game. At some points in that game, it looked like Marcus Mariota was doing that. And to your point, I mean, they ran it 39 times, I believe, plus Marcus Mariota running it. So they controlled that game through the run. The defense wasn't at its best. I mean, I think Marcus Mariota's first incompletion came with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, which is not good. So this needs to be a game where your offense just takes it all on the shoulders. But the problem with that is that, I mean, they've never been like, they did it in the first half, but they've never been able to really do it, as that stat shows. And I mean, there were, I think, a lot of risks taken downfield, obviously, with the deep shots. With like they took a lot more deep shots, but they had to do that at some point in the game for them to stay competitive in that game. And I like the aggressiveness. In that sense, I did like that out of Kyle Shanahan because he did show aggressiveness. But in another sense, can you adjust? Can you? I mean, he really hasn't showed that he can adjust in big moments, and that's the problem. And I mean, real quickly going to Jimmy Garoppolo, I think he's good and he played efficient, but since throwing the ball isn't his strength, you know, when you throw it 41 times, you start to play with fire a little bit. And I mean, that interception, I believe it was the last interception to Debo, was high, and we had seen that exact same throw happen in the Rams game and the Panthers game, but it hadn't. Neither teams could pick it off, but the Falcons did, and they capitalized. So when you turn Jimmy into a passer, your team is immediately at a disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean the fact that, like I said, the receivers missing those passes, Ray, and also the tight end,
Right, that's
Warner,
true.
missing
Completely
those plays.
different games.
But my question to you is this, and to those that are watching, what are those players the ones going deep? Why isn't Danny Gray even
Right.
active for that? Why why wasn't Debo or Ayuk, who has been very successful through the whole game, going trying to catch that deep ball? Why was it they were throwing it to Warner, Charlie Warner, really?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
throwing it to Ray McLeod on those deep passes? I mean, was Kyle trying to be? Sometimes I think Kyle is just too clever for his own good. He tries to be clever and utilize different players, but
Right.
defensive coordinators are not dumb. They catch on pretty quickly. And to your point about the running game, listen, ever since we went the white nine, whether it's Robert Saleh or now D'Amico Ryan, the Niners have had a hard time with mobile quarterbacks. I don't care if you're Kyler Murray. Marcus Mariota, Russell Wilson. Um, if you can run on us. We always it's hard for us to contain a mobile quarterback.
Mhm.
And I don't understand why our defense struggles so much against now. Their running backs were kind of successful because we were missing Javon Kinlaw and Eric Armstead, the two
True.
pillars of the inside. And let's be honest, Bosa's a great run stopper, and he was out
Right.
on
He
the
has
outside.
strength.
And then Samson is also another great run stopper, but he was in and out like 5 or 6 times because of injury. He wasn't consistent on the outside. And when you're going to put Hyder or Charlie Miniu on the outside, you're going to be able to run on the outside. And that's what took place. And when you need an offense to step up
Mhm.
and put the weight on their shoulder and says, okay, our defense is struggling. Let's win this game on our own. It's really hard because you can't trust Jimmy G to do that with his arm. You
It's true.
can't. And if they stop the run, which they were pretty good at doing, and make us one dimensional, they know Jimmy can't beat you with his arms. And
Right.
there were some nice plays. Like I said, they were dropped and it should have been caught. But those 2 interceptions, people don't want to blame the second one on Jimmy because it was batted off of Debo's hands.
It was
But
high though.
thank you. Yes, it
Yeah.
was. Yes, it was. It should have been lowered. And so that I put that responsibility on Jimmy for that interception. So 2 INTs, man. So did Jimmy play completely bad? No. He had his good moments.
Yeah.
But he's still not the quarterback that I can trust to let me just put it this way. If Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback of the Niners on Sunday, would we won this game with the
Oh,
bad defense that we have?
not even a question. Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So
And the and
Mahomes is
there
an
were
X factor, not
right,
Jimmy.
and there were, sorry to cut you off, but
No, it's
real
okay.
quick, there were plays in that game where, yes, the deep balls were good actually, but I feel like there were plays in that game where he could have hit slightly more of them in stride. That throw, that last interception, like we've seen that throw the last few games. It just, like I said, it hadn't been capitalized on. I think Mahomes would have been more accurate. Another thing that I saw was Jimmy in the all 22. Go back and watch, throwing off of his back foot a lot, not willing. Like it's his definitely accuracy issues could be like a quarterback that is more elite could fix those problems and could play a little bit more hearable.
Yeah, let's be honest, Camper. Shooting ourselves in the foot doesn't help either. When you
Yeah,
complete
it's
a
true.
first down to a Ute, and that
Penalties.
was a beautiful pass to a Ute, and then it gets called back because of our center. Okay,
Yeah.
that doesn't help either. So, and that's moment. It kills the momentum. Football, if you played it, if you've been a part, it's all about momentum. Do you have the momentum going your way? And simple plays like that can kill a drive quicker
Mhm.
than anything. And the momentum, and that's what happened with us. Next year, we're kicking the ball away. So, was it totally on Jimmy? No, but
Yeah.
Jimmy is not the quarterback that I trust to bail us out. And I know people want to bring the 2019 Niners versus Saints. I go, that's one game.
Yeah.
How many games has Jimmy played for us? And you can only bring one game, the Saints
Yeah.
game. How many
Yeah.
games has Mahomes won? How many games has Josh Allen won because of him?
Yeah. That's true.
How many games
True.
can you say we won because of Jimmy? Maybe one. And what 5 years that he's been here? So
Yeah.
that tells you how much, So a lot of it could be Kyle, but then Kyle's handcuffed too because Kyle can only do so much with a bad quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. And that's why I think we'll never see, that's why I guess you can never really properly assess, I guess, Kyle Shanahan, because at this point I think you need more of and we'll get into it later, but you need more of if he's still doing bad with Patrick Mahomes, then yes, he is terrible. And I look at the bad coaches, people like Nathaniel Hackett, you know, those are bad coaches who still
Yeah.
have talent, a pretty decent quarterback, even though Russell Wilson isn't at his best. Kyle Shanahan's never had that. So we want to put all this blame on him, and I do too, but it's like, can you really properly assess him with a limited offense that, I mean, you're trying to throw it downfield, but it's never a guarantee. So,
Yeah, it's hard, especially when you're playing musical chairs with your offensive line, especially at the right guard when you're having Daniel Brunskill and then you're having Spencer Buford in there, and then McClinchy gets hurt and he's out. Now Daniel Brunskill has to go to the right side and be a tackle.
yeah,
The only I gotta admit though, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Jalen Moore,
right.
as bad as I
Doing
thought he
pretty
would
good.
be, he's been decent. Him and Aaron Banks have been handling their thing on the left, and that's very surprising. A good surprise though, but our center got to go, man.
Yeah.
Jake Brundle, that guy. Oh my God, he. Don't be surprised that by the second part of the season, when we come out of the bye,
Yeah.
if it ain't Daniel Brunskill at center.
It's true. Or we trade for one. I don't know what's out there,
Or we
but
trade, yeah. I
yeah.
don't know if there's so many centers out there right now. That's the bad part.
I should, yeah. If anyone in the chat can bring up any centers, that would be nice. But let's get to some of the chat. Kyle's a part-time coach. He only coaches for one half. Yeah, yeah.
Well, he's definitely not a fourth quarter coach. I tell you that much.
Nope.
He can be 3-quarter coach, but he likes to miss that fourth quarter first. Maybe he goes and gets on
Yeah.
Twitter or TikTok during the fourth quarter. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Who is this guy with the glasses? Ben looks older with the glasses. Thank you, I guess. I mean, age is the great. I don't even know what they say about age, but let's see here. I'm trying to catch up because there has been quite a bit.
Yeah, there's quite a few in there.
Yeah. Yeah, can we send Mariah to go scream? Well, Mariah's in the chat as well. Damian Lee, though, coming back. He was in my stream last week.
He's a great guy. He's one of my moderators.
Oh, really?
Great guy, man. Great guy.
Okay, nice. Can we send Mariah to go scream at Kyle? We starts to get repetitive.
Mariah, I love, that's my girl, man. You don't want to put Kyle in the room with Mariah because Kyle will shit his pants. Tell you that much.
David McNew is in here as well. Good supporter.
That's another moderator of mine. Yeah.
Okay. Hey Niner Sickness Podcast, thank you for making time to be on Ben's stream. Absolutely, yeah. Big shout out to him.
Appreciate that, man. Lizer 12.
Yeah, he's a big supporter of mine, so thank you very much.
Right on.
Mariah, I would go Joe Pesci Goodfellas on him for not using his rookies.
I love that, Damien.
I don't actually get that reference, but I'm sure it's good.
You probably never watched Goodfellas, have you?
No. Yeah, is it an old show?
It's a gangster type of a movie, Italian gangster. So yeah. I watched it like 3,000 times already, so I get that very well. But yeah.
We need a QB who can throw at least 30 yards. He was trying, okay? He was trying last week.
Yeah, he did try.
At least he tried, man. Yeah. You can't blame him. I mean, he just wasn't good, born with good genetics to throw the ball far.
I think he was born with good looks, and the genetics part kind of filled. See, there's nobody that can be a 100% great. Either you have great looks or you're a good player. He got the looks, not the playing so much.
And the thing that's funny is that his brothers, if you've seen him, I don't know if you have seen him.
I've seen his brothers.
But yeah, he has like by far, I think, the best looks out of him, and it's just it's hilarious. Anyways, so let's get to the next one though. Definitely an interesting topic though, because after this game, there was a lot to talk about that. Does Kyle Shanahan take the next one is, I guess we kind of actually talked about this, so we could quickly touch on this, but does Kyle Shanahan take the blame for the offense's lack of discipline and inability to adjust? The reason why I say this, like I said, fourth quarter and then the lack of discipline. Let's get to Jake Brendel. Let's get to some of those penalties that mostly Jake Brendel, but that killed us late in the game. I mean, absolutely killed us.
No, I don't think so. I think he might have, tried to take some of the responsibilities, but everything shows out in the field based on what we saw, what I've seen in the fourth quarter. Not utilizing players the right way,
Right.
not putting his best players in positions to win. It's not a good head coach to me. So is he to blame for the lack of discipline? Absolutely. Everything starts and ends with the head coach. It absolutely starts and ends with the head coach. And I know he's arrogant.
Yeah.
And he's arrogant and he just, it's either his way or the highway. And it's tiring. It's tiring because what's going on with Danny Gray? Why is he out there? Why is Jordan Mason not playing? Why is all these other players not out there? What the heck you having your third tight end making that type of catch with Warner? Where's Duwali? If anything, Duwali can catch very well. Why wasn't Duwali trying to catch that play instead of Warner? Warner is known for his blocking skills, not his catching. Again, was Kyle trying to trick the defense and sending someone that doesn't catch the ball very well? Hopefully he will catch it. Well, this is the result. That ball landed properly in his gloves. Did you see that on Warner's gloves? I mean, it hit him in stride. Yeah. Jimmy, as much as people hate him or whatever, could not throw in that ball better, and he dropped it. That's because he don't belong in that spot. I blame on Kyle. Why is Warner out there instead of Ayuk or Debo?
Yeah.
Or even Wilson.
That's true.
I don't know. It's frustrating, man.
The thing is like you've got three big playmakers, and I don't know if George Kittle really is anymore. And I think with the George Kittle thing is like he might have gotten older, but I think there are still ways I think to get him open down the field. And you've got realistically three big playmakers: Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. I think on that play,
even Jawan Jennings.
It's hard to not send somebody else than that guy down the field. I mean, it amazes me. I think going back to the discipline though, Brendel is I don't know what that was, because that holding penalty, I believe it was the one that negated the Brandon Ayuk one. That was ridiculous, because the thing is you look back, and I looked back at the film. He basically pulled, he was getting beat. He got pushed back and he pulls the guy down. But that was when Jimmy Garoppolo was about to throw the pass. So even if he would have let the guy push him over, who's to say Jimmy Garoppolo would have gotten sacked anyways? It was so unnecessary. Yep. So unnecessary. So it's like some of it stems. Yeah, he did. And some of it stems from the coaches. That's where I kind of blame Kyle Shanahan, because you're definitely a coach teaching him this discipline, but maybe it's the position coach's fault. I don't know. I mean, and then the second one, which I believe it was an ineligible man downfield. I mean,
that could be Jimmy's fault though.
Yeah, there's been so many. I don't really blame Brendel as well, because it's really tough when you're in that system to complete that play properly, and with all the rules, I don't even know.
Yeah, the one that was negated to Ayuk was definitely his fault, 110%.
Oh,
because like you said, even if he lets him just go run him over, I think that ball would have got out of. One thing we know about Jimmy, he has a quick release, man. He can get rid of it.
Yeah.
And I'd rather take the sack than a penalty, because at least if the ball would have got out, that was a beautiful play, by the way, to Ayuk. I can't ignore that. I can't ignore. I don't care who that is, Jimmy or not. That was a beautiful pass that it was negated, and you can see Ayuk was frustrated.
Yeah,
you can tell he was like, really. And I'm telling you, that kills the momentum, and if the momentum gets killed, it's hard. I don't care who you're playing.
That's true. And the game, that drive, and that drive took what now? I think that drive took 8 minutes from.
You're talking about the one that, yeah. Where he did nothing.
That's a completely different game.
That's all Kyle.
If that Brandon Ayuk play is completed, but it's I mean, they took so long, even without that play. I mean, it was just like, what the heck are you doing? There were plays like throws over the middle that were just like 6-yard plays, and it was just like, we don't have all day. Like, I was thinking when we get the ball back, I think it was like a 10 and a half minutes. I was like, I mean, this is still potentially like, I still have some hope in this offense to come back against a still like, even though the Falcons defense was playing heroically, still a very bad Falcons defense. I don't think so. I mean, even a lot of people want to bring up AJ Terrell. I mean, he hadn't even been doing that good this season. I think he gave up the game before against the Buccaneers 6 catches to Buccaneers
Yes.
receivers.
Yep.
So, I
Yeah,
don't know,
this
man.
offense is not created to play from behind. It has to play with a lead, or it has to play with a lead because, like you said, these
Yeah.
dink and dunks, these little 5 yard, 10 yards, even though the catch, the run after the catch, the yak boys, and what Debo can do, that's all great. But sometimes you got to air it out. Sometimes you got to throw that 20 yard bomb, 25, 30 yard bomb, and move the chains. You don't have the time to be wasting 8 minutes and then at the end you come out with nothing, man. Especially
Yeah.
when we're behind, we need the time and we're wasting it, uh, by doing this. So again, this offense is not, in my opinion, made right now for playing from behind because we don't have that deep threat with Jimmy G.
Yeah. Totally agree with you. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's get to the comments though. Ben, the 49ers signed ASU center Donovan West via undrafted free agent 2022. Yep, I know who he is. I'm a big fan of
He
ASU.
was terrible in practice, bro. Terrible.
Really,
He was getting
really,
beat left and right. That's why they let him go.
really. He's still a free agent after 49ers cut him. Every team is staying away from him. Do you both know why? Why not put him on the practice squad?
Because he stinks.
Yeah. I don't know. That's yeah. I have a trade proposal. Let's offer a 6th-round pick rounder for the Panthers backup center Bradley Bozeman. He started for 3
Hmm.
seasons with the Ravens. Interesting.
That is
I
interesting, David.
I might come out with a video this Saturday, and this should have been one of our topics, but potential players that we could trade for. Yeah, that's a good, like, that's actually, yeah, good thinking there, David McNew. Danny Gray is good. We had a week, but out real quick before I'll look into that trade for sure and to that player. Danny Gray is good. He had a weak arm QB at SMU. Kyle rule of not playing rookies is a joke.
Very good
Yeah.
point to them. Yeah. He doesn't like playing rookie. He doesn't trust rookies
Mm-hmm.
whatsoever, unless he's forced. Now, the offensive line, but then again, blocking and protecting a quarterback is completely different than playing outside and a skill position. But he doesn't trust rookies. Look at
Yeah.
Jordan Mason. He's an undrafted rookie, but he's nowhere to be in sight.
And the thing that I just thought of is Aaron Banks. I mean, this guy is showing to be pretty freaking solid. And I mean, he might have magically like developed, but he obviously still had some of that talent last year. Why didn't you? I mean, why didn't you at least play him? You could have moved Tomlinson somewhere. You could have moved him to the right guard. I don't know. Figure it out. But like, he should have at least gotten some looks last year.
You know what? I,
Um,
I wanna I wanna agree with you to some point, youngster, but you're not moving Tomlinson out of that
right.
left
That's true.
guard position for an unproven Aaron Banks. I'm not with the kind of team that we had last year. So
That's
that's
true.
a hard one. But and he played hurt, and he's not. Some players cannot play both sides. He struggles at the right side, but he dominates the left. That's a skill position. That's where he played in college. So I'm glad that he's
Yeah.
working out for us. They saw something. I have never accused the Niners of not scoping out good players.
Mhm.
Um, they brought in a lot of great players on here via the draft, but um, they just got to stay away from injured players, man. I know this is not part of your show or topics,
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
I'm irritated with the whole Javon Kinlaw situation because I think as a player, he has a skill set to be great, but the inability to play because of his injury just sucks.
Yeah, it's
And I
true.
think he's a bust just based on his injuries.
Yeah. Yeah, you can be a great player, but just have not what it takes. I mean, you
If you're
also,
not on the field, how can you be a
yeah,
great player? I mean, you can have the
yeah,
best tangibles, but if you're not on the field to do anything, it's like
yeah,
having a nice car without a motor. It's
yeah.
just sitting in your driveway.
I mean, that's a good segue. Who's to blame for all these injuries?
Mm.
Um, what do you make of it? Because you have Charvarius Ward. Now that one kills me because we really needed him against the Chiefs. I mean, I want to quickly say about Charvarius Ward, what you see a lot of teams how they beat the Chiefs, a lot of man-to-man coverage, cover 3, keep everything in front of him. You need a good corner to stay man-to-man with their top receiver, even though the Chiefs have gone slightly weaker with their top receivers this year, but you need somebody to stay. And I mean, now it's like you have Jimmy Ward, potentially Ufunga. I think, wait, is Ufunga ruled out for this week? I don't know, actually.
He's on still on precaution caution can't even speak it right.
Concussion protocol.
Concussions protocol. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we'll find out more tomorrow and going forward. But right now he's not ruled out, but he's not 100% chance to play. So hopefully
Yeah.
he'll be fine.
Yeah. So who's to blame for all these injuries?
I
Is it the
think it's
turf? No, I'm just kidding. Go
I
ahead.
think it's the Yorks for
Really?
doing
Okay.
Eddie DeBartolo wrong and taking away his team.
Interesting.
I know that's just a myth. That has nothing to do with it. I just like to throw that out there because we have never had that many injuries with Eddie DeBartolo the way we do now. Even during the time of Hardball, we didn't go through a lot of these injuries. And you can't even blame the strength and conditioning coaches because they fired them and they hired
Right.
different ones and the same results. I don't know if it's just not discipline. The players are not disciplined in their regimen of diet, how they prepare themselves. But no one takes care of themselves, in my opinion, based on what I see than Nick Bosa in the offseason.
Right.
And he's out
Right.
with a groin injury. So
Good
it's
point.
like even if you do well and you eat the right thing, you still get hurt. It's just a black cloud that it's over San Francisco. And it sucks because every year we're talking about injuries.
Yeah.
Significant injuries at key positions. I understand injuries is part of football. I understand people get hurt because it's football, it's physical, the physicality of it. I understand that. But come on, we went into this game with missing 3 of our D linemen. Bosa, Javon Kinlaw, and Eric Armstead. Okay?
Yeah.
If that wasn't enough, we gonna lose Samson back and forth, in and out, in and out. If that wasn't enough, it's not enough that we lost Emmanuel Mosley a week before, but now we lose Charvarius Ward as
McGlinchey, Ayuk was in and
well.
out. Hufanga.
Even though he came back, but he wasn't kind of the same. It's like, what's going on? Is it the field that we play on? Is it just our luck? Because some people want to blame the field, but these players, they play on Atlanta plays on that field 8 times a year, and you don't get that many injuries. Carolina plays on their field 8 times.
And other teams will play on the Jets field and won't have, like last year, they won't have 10 people go down like flies. Like, yeah, I was thinking the same. I was thinking the same thing before when I was getting ready for this show. Yeah,
it's just it's a bad juju on the 49ers. And I think ever since DeBartolo's sister stole the team from him, it's just been, I know that has nothing to do with it, but I'm still going to stick with it because I think that was dirty. I don't know if you know the whole story, but if you don't, that's for another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just wrong. I mean, family, you got to remember, family is family until they're not. Money changes people.
True. Wait. Real quick. Tell me that story though, because I'm interested.
Okay. Eric DeBartolo got into some legal issues, gambling in Louisiana. He was gambling, and they were coming after him, and he had to put the team under his sister and husband's name, the Yorks, so that if he got audited or whatever, he will not lose the team.
Mm-hmm.
Under the condition that once that blew over, he would get it back. While Jay York is growing up, he's going to school and getting into it. He loves the Niners, and the sister said, nope, we're keeping the team. We're not,
Oh.
you know what I mean? And we're not, and there was a big old argument. A lot of people don't have the 100% facts. It's not like I was there, but if you read a lot of the articles that were coming out during that time, you can kind of put the puzzles together and see that. I'm trying to think of her name. Lisa, is it Lisa York? Or Jennifer, someone. Anyway,
Yeah.
she took that team, and ever since that, there's been a black juju. Maybe somebody can in the comments could especially like David. David's probably around my age.
Yeah.
He will
Yeah,
tell you too. But that's what happened. It was all because of the gambling. Now Eddie DeBarlo shouldn't be gambling, but hey, they're human. He got caught, and he trusted his family. You know what I
mhm.
mean? His sister, his blood, and
Yeah.
he would never imagine that he would not get it back. So,
Yeah.
but
True.
that's kind of the bad juju that I think it is. And ever since the Yorks took over, is we haven't been really been that good.
Yeah, that's true. I I think the physical style going back to maybe a little bit more of like like that could be very well true, but a little bit more of a uh 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 I guess the style of how the 49ers play and like going back to more of another possibility of why this could be to so many injuries. The style that the 49ers play is physical. Everyone says it. They're one of the most physical teams in the league. So injuries are bound to happen. It's just for Kyle Shanahan, I've got to see like maybe you can find a balance. I'm not really sure, but it's like with that physical play, I mean it definitely works some of the time. Your team is tough, but when you have all these players going down, it really is tough to handle. And so maybe I don't know. I mean, the 49ers have tried their hardest to build around and build depth so they can prepare for these, but it comes a time when there's not a next man up, So I
Depth,
I don't
depth,
I don't
not to
know.
cut you off, but depth is good
You're good.
until they're playing more than they should. It's
Yeah,
nice. Depth is good for a player here, a play there, maybe a game here. But when you're having to count on the
right.
players that are your depth, it's not a good thing. And it's like, how do we lose key position players? Like, my goodness, we lost Emmanuel Mosley for the year.
Well, and that's my next point is like I think I blame this a lot on the front office because a lot of these guys that they sign, and I know a lot of people like to bring this up, but it's true. A lot of these guys that they sign are
Have
guys that
injuries.
are question marks and have injuries, which bring their value down, and you can get them for slightly cheaper. Now, Charvarius Ward, I don't think has had that much of an injury history. I was trying to like look into it, and I didn't really see anything too significant. But Emmanuel Mosley has. I mean, since he's been on our team, I mean, he misses at least a few games a year. Last year, I think he missed a few games with hamstring. That's why we had Josh Norman and Drake Kirkpatrick on the field at the same
Oh,
time.
don't remind me of those last year, bro.
Yeah.
That's
So, and Nick Bosa still has injury. I mean, even though we all want to like he was healthy last year, but I mean, so that we do get players who definitely have injury issues, and that's a front office issue for sure. So,
yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Bosa. I mean, growing, I understand it. It is what it is.
yeah,
But look at Joey Bosa. He's hurt for a while, and it's something that's like, I don't know. But you're right. It starts in the front office, bringing in players, and then I understand they take risk because and with high rewards, like Javon Kinlaw, he was taken at the spot that we took him. He probably, if it wasn't for the injury problem that he has, he probably would have gone higher.
hmm
But now it looks like a good idea at the time. But now we're looking back at it, we're like, man, can you imagine we would have had the tackle for um, Tampa Bay?
oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if I'm
yeah,
saying his name
Wirfs,
right or
Wirfs,
not, but
Tristan
yeah,
Wirfs.
yeah,
Yeah.
we remember we gave the spot to Tampa Bay. We traded with Tampa Bay to go up. Tampa Bay went up one. Now, given there's another player we got because of that trade. I think because of that trade we were able to get Brandon Ayuk.
Right.
So it kind of like if we didn't make that trade, we probably would have got War, but we wouldn't have had Brandon Ayuk. So
Right. And also, well, and you could have gotten CD Lamb, who's also a good receiver, and then gotten a tackle later on in the first round and traded up for a tackle or something like that. So you could have used that pick for Javon Kinlaw and used that on CD Lamb, who dropped, what was it, like 4 picks later, 5 picks
Yeah.
later, and then you could have used the other first round pick that you traded up as well and gotten like I'm this is no knock on Brandon Ayuk because he's a great player, but I think there was a better way to spend those picks is what I'm trying to say. So,
No, exactly. You know what I mean? And there's so many different ways the Niners could have went in that 2020 draft. And I understand they wanted to replace a big guy in the middle because we were missing DeForest Buckner, but I think that we could have went a different direction and we could have just paid DJ more money to stay instead of
yeah.
having him go to the Broncos. He could have
Yeah.
stayed. I think he would have been better than Javon Kinlaw. If anything else, at least he's healthy enough to play, and he's doing good in a bad situation over there, but he's doing good in that defense. So DJ
That's true.
Jones,
That
I think is better than Javon Kinlaw. People's like, no, when Javon Kinlaw can't be on the field, you better believe that DJ Jones is a better D tackle.
that is a good point cuz I mean, that is the one bright spot of that Denver Broncos. I mean, their offense might be absolute dog doo-doo, but that's yeah,
Defense.
definitely a good defense for sure. We have the wrong coach for this team and talent we have. We'll see, man. We'll see. I'm starting to kind of agree with you, but I don't know
I
yet.
think we just have the wrong quarterback for the talent that we have.
That's true. That's true. Good point. DeBartolo is the GOAT. I was so heartbroken when the team was taken from him.
Yes.
Um, and then we have, where is the 49ers historians? Yeah. I was hoping Grandizer, you could do it because you're always coming out with these stats and stories and stuff. And I mean, he's a Dolphins fan, but it's amazing the knowledge that Grandizer has on the NFL. So it's crazy. Ramilia will say that they got bad juju because he don't like them. Beto.
Oh, Rudy, yeah. Rudy only comes out when the team wins. When their team loses, you can't find them anywhere. They're like roaches
Yeah.
when you turn on the light, they spread. I'm not
Yeah.
calling Rudy a roach. I want to make sure that doesn't play out that way, but because Rudy is my boy, I do. He's a Rams fan, but he
Oh,
never
yeah.
comes out though. He never comes out unless their team wins, and then he'll text me,
Yeah.
and make fun of me of my team. And it's like, but when we beat them, crickets, crickets, no page. No, I text him, he won't text me back. So anyway, I don't know
Yeah.
if you know who Rudy is or not, but
I
he's funny.
know who Ramilia. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait. Oh, yeah, I did think Ramilia Sport. Yeah. I
Romelia
know who he is. I thought for
Sports
a second
Report.
it was Peo time, but no, it's
No,
not.
no,
It's the other
no.
guy. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know who he is. He calls into Grant Cohn's show sometimes as
Oh,
well.
he
Yeah.
yeah he loves to. What's the word when you go and mess with people? What's the word young
Troll.
people troll? Yes, he loves to troll Niner fans.
Yeah. 49ers won 5 Super Bowls with Eddie Barlow as owner. Then the Yorks took over and we stunk it up for many seasons and haven't won a Super Bowl. Yeah, we've been to 5 NFC championship games in 10 years or 11 years, but never have really gotten there.
Did you know that I've been to every Super Bowl that the Niners played in person?
Really?
Yeah, I've been to
Wow.
every Super Bowl they played and watched them win those 5 Super Bowls in person, and I also been to all the parades they won. So that's something So
Dang.
I've been, yeah, I was there in New Orleans, I was in Miami, I was in Detroit at the old stadium, no longer there for our game. So yeah, I got to watch all those games. I don't know. I know you're young, so I don't know if you know ever heard the story of Joe Montana, which I always support my quarterback.
That's a cool
Um,
shirt for sure. Yeah.
thanks. Did you ever hear the story that he says about John Candy, the comedy, the
No.
comedy? Never.
Well, I
Okay.
might have, but I'm not really sure if I have.
In the Super Bowl against Cincinnati, we were behind, and we had to go, I think, 70 yards for the touchdown to win, which we did to John Taylor, Joe Montana, the John Taylor to win it.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
but
do.
John Candy, Joe Montana always says a story about how he was hyperbarinated in the field. He was throwing up because of the pressure, and he looked up and he seen John Candy, and he was a big fan of John Candy. And when I hear that story, if 5 rows to the left, I was right there. So I saw John Candy.
Dang.
And I couldn't get near him because he had his
Yeah.
entourage. He's a big actor. But so whenever he says a story, I remember that. And then the 2 minute warning came on, and we came back from commercial, and the rest is history. Joe Montana took us, I think, 70 plus yards, and won it with a touchdown to John Taylor
Yeah.
to get our Super Bowl win. I think that was our third or first Super Bowl win. I don't remember. It's been a long time, but yeah, I
Dang.
got the opportunity to watch all 5 Super Bowls, which that's
That's
something that I'll take to my grave. Unfortunately I can't pass down to my family, but it's always something that I'll carry with me as long as I'm alive.
that's crazy. Uh Definitely good memories to have. But let's get to the next one. Uh we have now we have talked about this a little bit, so we could combine this topic with keys for the game as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if let's do that. But Talanoa Funga and Charvarius Ward potentially out against Chiefs. How do the 49ers not embarrass themselves if they don't have these guys? That kind of ties into our other topic, keys for this game. So let's get into both. What are
Kidnap
your thoughts on
Mahomes.
this?
Kidnap
What
Mahomes
are
to make sure he doesn't come out on the field. No. If Hufanga,
Hitman? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah,
I'm
it's
just kidding.
telling Hufanga and Travarius Ward. I don't see Travarius Ward missing or Hufanga. I think they both will play, especially since Travarius Ward is playing against his old team. I mean, he has to be in a really bad spot not to play. But
Hmm.
keys is getting to Mahomes. We gotta
Yeah,
generate pressure on him, and who's that pressure going to come from? Is it Bosa going to play?
he needs to.
And Eric Armstead is not going to play. We know Javon Kinlaw, he's on IR. He's going to miss another 3 games. So far, he's going to miss 6 this year. So I know we're not going to generate no pressure there. So can we pressure Mahomes and making mistakes? I think without, now the question is, without Hufanga and Travarius Moore, it would have to be pressuring Mahomes, getting him out of his
24/7.
reads. Yeah,
Yeah.
getting him out of his reads, and having either Fred Warner or Greenlaw kind of step back, and they have to play a lot of what do you call it? Oh, I can't think
As
of the name.
zone 3, it's
Not not zone. It's 6 something.
oh,
It's been a long day for me. I apologize.
no, you're
These
good. You're good. Let me see. 6-man back, like the
Yeah, it stems from what's his name, the coach that were with the Denver
cover 6.
Broncos, the cover 6. Yeah, yeah, we got to play a little bit more of that and kind of keep the linebackers back. But I don't know how good we can generate pass rush just with the 4. We're going to need, at the end of the day, to just in a nutshell, I should have just said
Yeah.
this: without Hufanga and Charvarius Ward, we're not going to win this game. Uh, yeah, it's going to be hard to stop Mahomes. The good thing, they don't have number 10 back there. Juju hasn't really been that good for them. Their
Yeah.
run game is pretty good, so we have to contain that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, youngster, playing Patrick Mahomes, especially them losing to the Buffalo Bills last week. They're pretty upset. If
True.
Hufanga and Chevere Ward doesn't play, I don't think we can do anything to not embarrass ourselves. We will be embarrassed. They're just too good of a team. And then, especially if we're missing Bosa,
Mhm.
it can easily be a 2-digit win for the Chiefs. Somebody asked me for a prediction earlier, and
Yeah, yeah, what's your prediction? Yeah.
I gave a 34-17 Chiefs.
Ooh.
And I
Wow.
never go against my team, but I'm realistic. I love my
Yeah.
team.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't wear my emotions on my sleeve. I don't make emotional calls. Niners. I got the tattoo right here. I got a tattoo right here that says Niners. So 24/7 Niners representing, but I'm realistic. If you're missing key players, it's going to be hard to win. And I don't believe in emotional wins. Oh, we're going to win because I believe it. Oh, shut up. It's
Yeah.
all about who's out there playing. that's going to make me believe whether we can win or not.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. If you look back at that Bills Chiefs game, that like this is why, and just to quickly go off on a rabbit trail, you look back at these two AFC teams and you know why these two teams are the best in the NFL. I think, like, I know a lot of people want to say Eagles best in the NFL. I think these two teams, I mean, the style of football that they play is so exciting. And they can win in so many different ways. The both Bills and Chiefs. I think like I mean, it's must watch TV. I think the Chiefs, even though they lost to the Bills, the way they beat the Chiefs was, like you said, getting home with 4 pass rushers. But the thing is without Nick Bosa, I mean, this Bills defense is top 3. I mean, it's better, I would say, than the 49ers because the 49ers defense. I mean, especially without Travarius Ward. I mean, they have Tre'Davious White, they have Von Miller, they have a top defensive line. I mean,
Yep.
they can stop the run. They allowed 3.7 yards with the to the Chiefs last week. I mean, they're I think one of the top run defenses. They really don't allow anything. And that's why they have such a complete team because they can beat you with the pass. You have an MVP season coming out of Josh Allen. They can beat you with the pass and they have an insane defense. So it's easy to say keep everything in front of you, allow a bunch of short passes, allow like Patrick Mahomes needs to that team needs to kill itself out, just don't give up any big plays, but it's easier said than done because only the top defenses can do that against an offense. And I know like that Chiefs defense in 2019 and not defense, but offense in 2019 was very fast. It's gotten a little bit slower because Tyreek Hill not there anymore, but it's still a very fast offense. You have to keep things in front of you. I just don't know, like you said, I don't know if the 49ers can do that because especially, I mean, this is a game where Nick Bosa has to play.
You would hope so.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much they value this game, but I would value it a lot.
But I
I
don't
mean,
want to put him in a situation where he comes in because he's forced to play and he gets hurt,
true,
and now he
true,
misses another 3 or 4 games. You got to look. Unfortunately, you got to look at the
long
game
term,
plan,
true.
long term instead of the short term. Now, I wanted to ask you a question real quick, not to kind of
Yeah.
go away from this,
No,
but
you're good. You're good. Totally fine.
you mentioned you mentioned the Bills defense, how great they are.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this: if the Niners weren't hurt, if every player that is hurt,
Mm-hmm.
Emmanuel Mosley wasn't hurt, Javon Kinlaw wasn't hurt, Aaron, all the players, all our key position, is our defense as good as the Bills?
Yes. Yes.
Can the Bills generate a pass rush?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can
They're
we?
good.
Can
Yes,
we?
absolutely.
Can
I
they
mean,
stop the run?
yeah, they've been.
Can we?
I think they've been allowing under 4 yards per carry
Yeah.
this
And
season. Yeah,
I'm going to carry a point real quick. Can we stop the run if we're healthy?
absolutely. We saw it
It,
in the Rams game. We saw it in. Yeah. Yeah.
okay, they
Absolutely.
have a good running game. So do we, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have good receivers, decent receivers. I'm talking about the Bills.
I think they have better receivers than we do actually
But
because
we
they have
have
a more dominant receiver in Stephon
correct.
Diggs through there.
My hope, but we have enough receivers in
Yeah.
Debo
Yeah.
and you now. Tight ends, we have a better tight end that is not utilized properly, but we have a better tight end than theirs. But
Mm-hmm.
when I get to the quarterback, that's where we separate.
Yeah. Yeah. Josh
You
Allen
get where I'm going
MVP.
with this? Everything that I mentioned defense, stopping the defense, pushing the pass rush, everything we can keep up with the Bills. But
Mm-hmm.
when we get to the quarterback position, we are miles and miles away. Josh Allen can win you the game.
Yeah.
Jimmy can't.
And the thing with Josh Allen is there was a few games ago, he threw it 64 times, won that game. I mean, that offense, they don't. Well, the thing with the Bills, like, on the contrary, I don't think the Bills have a very good run game. They really don't. They run it like 10
You know
times a
what? You're right.
game.
Because I forgot about what's his name. He's a small guy.
Singletary,
Yeah.
and then they have Moss and they have James Cook as well. But none of those guys are really that good. I mean, they really don't rely on it at all. But
So
it's
we
like
have a
that
better run
quarterback.
game.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely do. Now, our run game can be bad at times just because I don't know. I mean, it definitely I think we run the same running back too many times, kind of no juice in his legs. But that's another story. But yeah, again, keys for this game. You have to get home with the 4 people you have. You have to drop as many people in coverage,
You got
and
to run
that's
the ball and stop the run. If
and
you can run the ball and stop the run
yeah,
and get to Mahomes, in my opinion, if we are going to have any type of success in this game, how we're
yeah,
going to do it, that's the $1,000,000 question.
and the Bills, even though it was close, the Bills still allowed. I mean, they allowed Patrick Mahomes 25 for 42 TDs, 2 interceptions, and a lot of those plays, a lot of those receptions were, especially in the first few drives of that game last week, and that was must-watch TV. Were dinks and dunks for the Chiefs. So
Yeah,
the
you can't
Bills.
stop Mahomes. You can just
Oh
try to
no.
slow him down.
Yeah, exactly. It's like an NBA superstar. He's gonna get his 25, but do you let him go off for 45?
You just don't want that 3-point shot at the end at the
Yeah,
buzzer.
exactly. But yeah, let's get to some of the comments though. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up. We got the Eddie DeBartolo 5 Super Bowls won. We're I think down to here. John Candy, a celebrity who has passed, who I wish I could have a beer with at a bar. He was a riot, a true talent. I'll
Yes,
look
he
him up.
was.
I'll look him up. Beto has a plan. So that's his first name because I was wondering, like, who are these people talking about in the chat? I knew Ramilia Sports Report, but I didn't actually know, like, what. I need to do a show with him, actually. That'll be my next.
Ramilia?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
just be prepared, man. He likes to put you in a corner. He does
yeah.
it so slickly, but yeah. And
Yeah.
he always talks about so much about his Rams. He thinks he knows history about his Ram, but he doesn't.
I'll quickly. Damian Lee says 32-14 Chiefs.
Yeah, see,
I'm gonna
he's
say
realistic.
without Nick Bosa, without Charvarius Ward, who is day to day, even without. I mean, that's another key. That's something that I completely forgot to bring up. Chris Jones. That's a guy, defensive tackle, but they like to line him up outside. That's a guy who wrecked the 49ers Super Bowl. And I mean, I don't care if like Mike McGlinchey is day to day as well, but I don't care if Mike McGlinchey is day to day. Mike McGlinchey still is going to get wrecked by Chris Jones, one of the top end talents at the league. He can play both positions, DN, D tackle, doesn't matter.
You got to remember, we dealt with him so much when he was with Seattle.
Yeah, that's true. And Brendel is not going to be able to handle him inside. That's going to be a huge one. But anyways, I'm going to say without Nick Bosa, without Charvarius Ward, I could see 31-10, an absolute embarrassment. And then with those guys, I want to say 27-20. No, 24-17. We still lose, but
we still lose. But you know what? You're being realistic.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that. You can be emotional in making picks, man. I mean, you can always go. People can always root for their team no matter what. But if you're realistic and if you're smart enough to look at the roster and look at the skill positions, who we have and who we're going against, and do the matchup, you kind of have a better idea who might win that game.
Yeah.
And we don't match up right now very well with the Chiefs.
Yeah. No, it's not. And I don't see anywhere where we actually win this game. It's just, and honestly, in my eyes, like, even though in fans' eyes, this is a must win, in the 49ers' eyes, you have a banged up team. We're still early in the season. We have an easy NFC West. Is it really a must-win game for Kyle Shanahan? I don't know if he's actually thinking about that because, I mean, he knows that he can come back from he was 3-5 last year. So, I mean,
it's a great momentum boost because you remember out of all the teams that we played, the Rams are not playing good football right now. They beat Carolina, but they were struggling for 3 quarters. And then they started taking control in the 4th quarter on a bad team with their 3rd string quarterback with Carolina. Who have we really beaten in those 3 games that are above 500? None. And the teams that we lost don't have winning records either. Now we're playing the Chiefs. We got to be realistic. I like the comment that Mariah brought up. I can see them beating us by more than Yeah, and it's a reality with the injuries. Now, if we
Yeah.
had a complete healthy team, I think we beat the Chiefs easily
Yeah.
because their defense is not that scary.
No,
But
no.
I don't think our offense is good enough, even against their mediocre defense. Unfortunately,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
and I'm hoping I'm wrong. If we beat the Chiefs, hey, I'll swallow my pride and I'll enjoy that victory. But if I was a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was, I would not put money on the Niners just based on being a fan.
Right. Right. I want to thank the Eagles for beating Dallas.
Yes,
Yeah. I mean,
can't stand Dallas.
my brothers are. I can't stand them either, but my brothers are Eagles fans, so I was hoping to flex on
Oh, are they?
on the
Oh, they're
Eagles.
loving it right now. You
Yeah,
see the
they
whole thing
are.
that's happening. I forgot who it is, but they have the guy with the championship belt, and it's like undefeated.
Oh,
Who's next? I like that
yeah,
though. I like that
yeah.
how they open the doors and nobody's beating them. But then again,
They have an easy
I don't.
schedule.
I don't think Dallas is good. I really
No,
don't. Who have the Eagles beaten that are great?
no. And I think the Giants. I mean, that's going to be their only test coming up. Like, I
Can you
don't.
imagine? Listen to yourself. Can you imagine if at the beginning of the season I would told you that the Giants might be a test for the Eagles?
Yeah,
How did the NFC West go from being dominant and the East going from being bad to now the East being dominant and the West is being bad? Go and figure, huh?
I don't know. I don't know. And the thing is, real quick, and I know like this is not a show about the Eagles, but you look at that schedule and it's like it's Giants and like the only teams under over 500 Giants, and then the Packers. Like at first, when you look at that schedule, oh, they're pretty hard. No, they're not that hard. And basically, that's the only like decent teams that they have. It's crazy.
Really?
Like
I haven't
yes.
seen the rest of this.
Well, and
Oh
I
my
can I
goodness.
can actually quickly I can quickly pull it up for you. I didn't have it.
Eagle fans are just, I mean, they're not a bad team. I love what Hurts
No,
is
they're
doing
good.
so far, adding the receivers they added. I mean, they're playing good football. Defense, I always love their defense. Um, but if they have, oh my goodness,
They have
uh,
Steelers, Texans, Commanders, Colts. So this is basically Steelers aren't above 500. Texans aren't above 500. Commanders not above 500. Colts just barely there.
they're
They're
not playing
kind of
good though.
yeah. They're kind of turning around, but Packers, that's a big question mark. Titans, that's a very mediocre team, very unknown. Giants, Bears,
Yep.
Cowboys, Saints, and Giants again. Like what?
Wow.
No team on that is like really top dominant. You know,
Can you
like
imagine if they were playing the Bills or the Chiefs
yeah,
or,
I know.
uh, you know, oh my goodness. That's, and the thing about the Packers, I mean, the Packers got beat by both New York teams. The Giants the week
Right?
before, and then the Jets at home. The Packers are not the same
Yeah,
with without Devontae Adams. I don't care what people say. And then now with Aaron Rodgers with his thumb, he's not able to grip the ball right. He's not
yeah,
playing well. The Packers are done. This NFC North belongs to the Vikings for
yeah.
sure.
And I don't think that like I said, like this is a big prove it season for LaFleur. I don't think I never like even last year I was saying he's not a very good coach, and I think I'm getting proved right here because I think he was
Oh
just
yeah.
benefiting off of having a talent off of having a talented receiver that really only comes into the league once in every 20
When
years.
you
That's
had a
how
when you have an MVP quarterback and a talented receiver like Devontae, those two guys can make any mediocre coach look good.
oh yeah.
They made Haslett look good.
Mhm.
That's why he got the head coaching for the
True.
Broncos.
True. That's a good point. Yeah, good point.
And now that he's
Uh
with the Broncos and being exposed without those two guys, what is he doing over there? Nothing.
yeah. True. They can't stop the Tua, Waddle, and T Hill. Yeah, that's gonna be that's a fast team. Hopefully Tua comes back and uh plays well because I definitely it's tough to see what's happening to him. Bills gave that dink and dunk to Tua. He gladly took it. Take the defense gave him. 49ers have played that smash mouth ball. Yeah. Yeah, they have to yeah, for sure. Take what the defense gives you, I guess.
I got a feeling
Um
when we play the Miami Dolphins, Tua is going to be playing at 100%. right on time just to kick our butt.
Yeah. We are not playing our best football right now. Need to
Nope.
get healthy and get on a roll.
Yes.
Well, there is a stretch. You have the Commanders there, and then you have the Saints. So there's that stretch late in the year that maybe. I mean, it's definitely a tough schedule to really get on a roll
Do you know
because
that
there's
we
not.
play 2 teams a year? Every game we play 2 teams. We play the team on
Oh,
schedule and the team
yeah,
of injuries.
yeah,
That's who we
yeah.
play. Because we can have the Commanders, right? We can have some
Mhm.
bad teams, but what condition are we going to be in when we play those bad teams?
Yeah,
If we're not
that's true.
healthy, I mean, Jesus, we lost to the freaking Atlanta, bro. Come on.
Yeah,
They
true.
dominated us. It's not like we just lost. They kicked our behind.
Yeah, and that's why, like earlier, are they a bottom 5 team? Because Atlanta, they've been actually pretty good, and they've been like staying close with decent teams, but they're still a
They've been
team
staying
where,
close to decent teams and they blew out the one that is not too decent, right?
yeah, I mean they still have a team with a lot of unknowns and a terrible defense. So
But like you said,
yeah,
we made Marcus Mariota look like Lamar Jackson.
yeah, it's
That's
true.
never good.
But we'll get to some more of your comments, but let's get to um well, do we need to cover, do you think, like, do you want to cover this topic? Because I know we've kind of talked. Let's talk about Williams though, because we've talked about Bosa. But how much more confident to win versus Chiefs would you be if we had Williams for this next game? Or Bosa. I mean, I don't care. We can
Trent
talk about both.
Williams, obviously, whenever you have the silverback back there, I mean, there's always confidence with silverback because what the skill set that he brings onto the field, he controls and helps out that offensive line tremendously. So I would be very confident with him there and moving Jalen Moore out, and then with Aaron Banks on that side, at least the blind side for Jimmy will be good. But I want Trent Williams to be at 100%. I don't want to risk him at all. But
Yeah.
if we get Trent Williams, we can have a good chance of at least being in the game and
Yeah.
competing and not getting blown out. So we do need him, and I hope he does play. I hope Bosa plays too,
He's
but
questionable.
I just don't want them to come and hurt themselves. And now let's see. Let me ask you this:
Mm-hmm.
we never want to lose a game, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we lose the game, but Trent doesn't play, Bosa doesn't play, and then they play the following game in the rest of the year. Or let's say Trent plays and Bosa plays, and we lose them for the rest of the year, but we win the game against the Chiefs. Is that a good
Mm-hmm.
win or a bad win?
Terrible win, because then yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Even for a few weeks, like, I don't think really we've seen what this team is without him. I don't think we are. I don't think, like, even against, like we've seen, even against like pretty mediocre teams, we're not really that good without him. So you need him back, and you can't, even for a few more games, like not for the rest of the year. That's like pretty extreme, but for even a few more games, like, you still are going to be missing them. Um,
But if we have Bosa and Williams back, for sure, I am more confident on winning this game. Definitely.
yeah, yeah. KC favored by 3, over under 48. Uh I want to say I'm gonna do. I mean, that's 20. I'm gonna say
I want to go under
under.
but
Yeah,
that's me though.
yeah. I'm gonna go under as well because
Only because I don't think the Niners are going to put up that many points.
yeah, exactly. And even if the Chiefs put up like 30, then I mean Niners put up like
Well, the
17. That's still
defense
not
can be
enough.
sneaky. I mean, playing at home, if let's say the defense gives up, I don't know, 27 points
Yeah,
or 27, 28 points, but we only generate 10 or 17.
yeah,
I don't know. It's
yeah.
it's it's a close one.
Our offense hasn't been good all year. Wait until the playoffs begin, then we will see what the NFC East has. I think they are frauds. Yeah, I think
I
so
agree.
too. I think a lot of them are huge outliers because of the easy starts to their schedules. All of them have, and they really don't have tests, and that's why, like, the Eagles are good, but you really don't have regular season tests in your schedule. So,
Yep,
uh,
and that's sad because that can be a team that can win and coast right to the playoffs, and then lose the first round because they play a
Yeah.
real team.
Like the Ravens in 2019, 14
Yep.
and 2, doing great. First round, boom. Just like
Yep.
that.
Out.
Yep. KC Chiefs versus 49ers history. Two teams have met each other 14 times, including one post-season game, with the Chiefs winning 7 games and the 49ers winning 7 games. Series tied 7-7. Interesting.
You looked that up on Google, my friend. Come on.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. He does.
I,
Yeah, he
I
puts
know
it in
that
the
was
chat every
Google. I'm
time.
not trying to say he doesn't know his history, but that was Google. And if it wasn't, hey, more power
Yeah.
to you, youngster. But that's a lot. That's good
Yeah.
though. But
Yeah. And this will be a tiebreaker game. Interesting. We might
ooh,
we might can take some defensive players from Washington. Interesting.
let me ask you that. I know a lot of people want talk about Christian McCaffrey coming to the
I don't like
Niners.
that move.
Me
No.
neither. And I don't
Too
even want,
much.
honestly, I don't even want Brian Burns. I think we have enough pass rushers.
Yeah.
You know who I'm interested of getting from the Panthers is
Who?
Derek Brown, the D tackle from Auburn, number
Ooh.
95.
Yeah, I've heard
If
of
you
him.
watch tape on him, he was killing us in that game against the Panthers. He's a big boy. He can definitely replace Javon Kinlaw moving forward. He'll make us forget Javon Kinlaw so fast. It's not even funny. They want a first for him. I would give a first in 2024 for him. He's that
Mhm.
type of player. A lot of people don't feel like giving a first for a run stopper, but I think that's where you start. If you can stop the run and make them throw, you have a good chance. I don't know if you know too much about Derek Brown or not, but
I have heard of him.
watch him
Yeah.
his tape. He's good.
Yeah.
That's who I want, by the way.
Okay. For sure. I'll definitely do that. Do you think how my question to you is how aggressive do you think this team is now that we saw that last loss? In a way, I think it'll make them a little bit more aggressive.
I think if we, you mean going and get someone? I think if we would have,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think if we would have beaten Atlanta, I think the Niners would have been more aggressive than by
Really?
losing. Yeah,
True. True.
because not, you know what I mean. People don't realize 3-3 and 4-2 is it's one game, right? But
Mhm.
it when you're at 4-2, it's a different direction than 3-3.
Mhm.
And it's crazy like how that works in football. But um, the Niners are not known to be aggressive. They'll. I mean, they did it in 2019 when they brought in Sanders only because the receiving core that we had were young
Mhm.
and they needed Emmanuel Sanders to come in to bring experience. But let's see who on our team is young. Nobody really is young, so we will have to bring a player to replace someone on our team, right? So who
Mhm.
would it be now? Could it be a corner? Could it be a safety? Um, I don't like the McCaffrey because he's always injured,
Yeah.
but I can understand why they're interested in McCaffrey because he catches the ball very well and he runs the ball very well. If it wasn't for his injuries, I would just hate to give up a lot for McCaffrey, and then 4 games later he's on the shelf, and now we're like
Yeah.
sitting like we're like idiots. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's
That's
true.
only downside with McCaffrey, but uh, I don't see any player really out there that can really come in other than a D tackle. We don't need the pass rush.
Right tackle, the Wyatt guy, or what's a guy? My
Our
brother
center,
brought this up. The other, oh yeah, that's true. And the
center
center
that
that
from the
that guy up
Panthers.
in the
Yeah.
chat brought up. But what's the guy? For the Eagles, it starts with a D, and he's a backup right now. Andre Dillard, yeah, that's who it is. He's
What
a backup
position
for
does he
the
play?
Eagles. I believe right tackle.
Oh,
And
right.
that
Oh,
Eagles
tackle,
team,
tackle.
yeah, that Eagles team, best offensive line in the league. They have so much depth on that team. I mean, shout out to them for just building it all these years. But that's a guy who's a backup and is a starting level caliber tackle, almost Pro Bowl level. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know how expensive he would be, but that's a guy who definitely isn't happy because he's not even starting right now. So that's how deep that team is. But yeah, that's one that's huge.
I gotta look it up.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
interesting.
Go look at that. Go look at that depth. Kyle reminds me of the short guy in the movie Elf that got made. Somebody called him an elf. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I seen that movie, but I'm kind of lost on that. But
Yeah, yeah. We need center and D
yes,
tackle. Yeah.
yes, we
Game day
definitely.
forecast clear throughout the day. Yep. We get Mitchell back soon enough.
We should get him
Yeah.
after the bye, hopefully.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
before the bye.
yeah, for sure. I mean, we
The
have a chance to
question
go.
is for how long though?
Yeah, we have a chance. We have a chance to go even 4-4 because we play Rams right after. So that I think the Rams are
It
worse,
will beat
way
the
worse
Rams.
than us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If we can, yeah. Hopefully, we'll be at full strength for the Rams. We'll beat the Rams. If we go, we're 3-3, right? So let's say
Hmm.
we lose to the Chiefs, so we're now 3-4. We beat the Rams. So okay, you said 4-4.
Hmm.
Going into the bye, 4-4 isn't bad. I mean, I
Yeah.
would wish it was better, but you can still do something with that. I mean, like you said, last year we were 3-5. I
Hmm.
mean, we made it all the way to the NFC Championship game. So, if anybody can do it, it definitely can be Kyle, even with Jimmy. It's just a matter of can we stay healthy. That's just at the end of the day, that's what it is. Can we stay healthy? If we
Right.
can, we can beat anybody. But it's just, I think the only one we really lose to is to the injury bug.
Yeah. True. Um. Yeah. So everyone, this has been a lot of fun.
Yes, it
Clap
has.
it up for Niner Sickness. I mean, what a show, man. Thank you for coming on. That was a lot of fun. Definitely enjoy chopping it up. We're definitely going to have to do this again sometime because I loved it. I loved it, man. So thank
I'm
you for
glad you
coming
did.
on.
Thank you for having me on. It was fun, young, and I would love to come again. And I
Yeah.
should one of these days I'll bring you on my show and
Okay.
have you be a guest on my show.
Yeah, thank you. And everyone, if you haven't already, which you probably have, but if you haven't already, anyone watching afterwards, I should have said it at the beginning of the show. I'm not actually sure if I did, but all of his like his links to Twitter
Oh, I
and
appreciate
YouTube
that.
are in the description. So I should have said that. But uh so if you want to go look him up and go hit him a subscribe and those are in the description. So yeah, everyone, this has been a great time. Have a good rest of your night. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Definitely a lot of
Yes.
interaction. So we will see you another time, and hopefully the 49ers can somehow pull out a victory versus the Chiefs.
Real quick,
Um
youngster, before you go,
yeah, yeah.
which one do you want?
Ooh, probably I would say probably the Dwight Clark.
All right, send me your information and I'll send that out to you
Oh,
tomorrow.
dang. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's very kind.
You're welcome, my friend. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me on. Everybody watching, have a blessed night. It was fun. I really enjoyed myself.
Yes. Yes. We'll see you guys probably on Saturday. I'm not really sure what I'm doing that day. So if I do come on Saturday, uh it'll probably be maybe breaking down a few games for next Sunday and reacting to some of the NFL games uh last Sunday. So we'll see you guys later. Have a good night.
Good night.